Hi, this is the Accidental Rebbitzin, and I want to share a few thoughts with you about divine providence versus coincidence. And I want to start with the story of the accidental Talmudist, which is an amazing story that I find very inspirational and is a perfect example to illustrate the concept that I want to share with you today. The accidental Talmudist is Salvatore Litvak. Is a gentleman that grew up in New York City, very far from Judaism, even though he was Jewish. And he was a searcher. For 20 years, he tried all kinds of meditations, music, looking for different religions, and nothing really clicked. Then when he was 32, his grandmother died, and within the course of her death, he got closer to synagogue. He went to synagogue, experienced prayers. He found it very inspirational. And all of a sudden he realized, whoa, I've been looking everywhere for something that's right here in my backyard, because prior to that, Judaism was just boring, and he didn't find anything interesting in it. Being that his grandmother was a Holocaust survivor, it made the story very interesting to him. And he decided that he wanted to learn Judaism, Bible, and all kinds of different writings from Judaism. And he started learning Judaism. And what happened is that every time he was learning, he would hear references made to the Talmud, which is a very big encyclopedia of Jewish laws that get into all the different arguments, which is the oral law, which is based on a written law, in order to make the final decision on how for us to behave from the morning to night. We have laws, rules, regulation about everything. And Sal was always very nervous about learning, because these books are really big. The Shas, what we call the Shas, which is the Talmud, is really big books. And it has a lot of intricate writing in it. And he was always very intimidated. So he learned everything else, just not that. And then finally he was very intrigued and he wanted to learn about it. And he decided to tell himself, you know what, it's just books. Let's just get the first volume. And he proceeded going to the Judaica store, and he purchased the first volume. And when he got to the cashier asked him, oh, so you're doing Daf Yomi? And he's like, excuse me? Like, he doesn't have a concept. What is Daf Yomi? Daf Yomi is a program that as of today, 92,000 Jews participate in, and everybody learns the same one page, the same one day. And it turns out, when the cashier explained to Sal that the Daf Yomi is a program, and that program is a 7.5-year program, because it takes 7.5 years to finish all the books of the Talmud. And that very day that Sal purchased the first book of the Talmud was actually the first day where the 92,000 Jews start learning the first page of the first book. And he was so shocked. He got into his car and he calculated the odds of the first day being the day that he would buy the first book. And the occurrence was one chance out of 2,711. And therefore, that really gives a very good illustration of the concept of Ashgacha practice, basically that God looks and guides every one of us, and everything that happens to us is never coincidence. It's always the hand of God. Even if it seems really strange, many times later on we understand why we had such or such encounter, or such and such problem, or such and such thing. And in Hebrew, actually, being that Hebrew is the real language of